This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. More broadly speaking, today NHL discussion here on the channel this afternoon. And my friends, we are in a weird paradox world for a lot of people around the NHL. Alright, we're talking about an Edmonton Oilers player very much so in the Hart Trophy discussion in that final top three. And no, it's not Connor McDavid. I talked about this very heavily yesterday about why I thought, if anything, if Draisaitl doesn't win, it comes down to one thing. And it comes down to the fact that NHL voters who are voting on this award for the Hart, the MVP of the league, can't will themselves to vote for an Edmonton Oilers player for the MVP not named Connor McDavid, right? It's a mental roadblock. It's impossible. It can't be. The Oilers can't have a player better than Connor McDavid. It's just absolutely friggin' impossible. Thanks for moving, Orange. Absolutely friggin' impossible for it to happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in that paradox world, parallel universe, whatever you want to call it, where we've got such a thing happening. And what I want to address today is exactly that point a little bit further. Is it's okay for a player in a season to be better than Connor McDavid and win the Hart Trophy, right? So think about last year. I know everybody was talking about how Connor should have won over Kucherov or whatever. However you want to write the past few years of Connor McDavid's career, it just is what it is. But end of day, right? If we're talking that the most valuable player, the best player in the league, this, that, or the other thing, however you want to credit the MVP of the league. If you're talking the best player in the NHL, up until Connor McDavid came around in full force in his second season, Sidney Crosby, every single year from 05-06 in which he played 50 games or more, should have won the MVP, the Hart Trophy. Now, I'll just quickly go do a little giddy up check for you here, because I'm going to tell you that's why I'm using this as an example, is because simply it has not happened when it comes down to it. So let me get to Hockey Reference here. You'd think I'd have it queued up, but come on guys, if you've watched me long enough, you know what I'm like. And if you haven't watched me long enough, definitely hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? So Sidney Crosby, 24th in the Hart vote in 05-06, won the Hart in 06-07. 17th in the Hart vote in 07-08, 6th in the Hart vote the next year, and then in the Hart vote the next year, 3rd, 20th, no Hart vote for the Bing, 2nd in the Hart vote. Then you've got 1st in the Hart vote in, what is that? Let me follow that across 13-14, or is that, no, that's 13-14, and right all across. He hasn't won a Hart Trophy since the 13-14 season when he put up 104 points. So Sidney Crosby, arguably the best player in the NHL before Connor McDavid got there. Actually, absolutely the best player in the NHL before Connor McDavid got there. Hasn't won a Hart Trophy since 13-14. And yet, here we are arguing that the best player should win the Hart Trophy. No. Simply put, it's the most valuable to your team. And I made the arguments for Draisaitl yesterday. There's absolutely no doubt what Leon Draisaitl brings to this team. But it's not to what's the word? You know what I mean. Just, it's not to make light of what Connor McDavid does. Connor McDavid brings absolutely incredible things to the team. But that is the Connor McDavid effect, that he is so good that the team can have somebody better than him. And today I was discussing with a friend at work about how this isn't a Gretzky-Messier situation. This is a more Lemieux-Yager situation, right? This is two absolute dynamite superstars on their own. And I mean, yeah, you can argue that about Gretzky and Messier, but they are two totally separate players. Whereas Yager, Lemieux, guys, those are two guys that just did incredible things together and apart. And that's exactly what you're seeing here with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They are dynamite. They are absolutely killer together. But the thing everybody doesn't realize is, yes, Connor McDavid, probably if he's playing with Nugent Hopkins and Yamamoto, puts up just as many points as Draisaitl, and Draisaitl has less. But the other side to this, too, is that Leon Draisaitl, guys, found that gear, right? Everybody talks about how Connor McDavid makes everybody better. How long have we waited to see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins become that full threat that he is this season and last season? Well, that happened with Draisaitl on his center and Nugent-Hopkins on the wing. And don't forget, Leon Draisaitl, he turned, I think I saw a great tweet about it. Let me see if I can find it. Draisaitl AHLer. Let me see if I can find that tweet because it is an absolute... let me see if I can find it because it is ridiculous. Leon Draisaitl from Jason Adams, Adams on Hockey on Twitter, turned a .7 points per game AHLer into a .96 point per game NHLer this season. And don't forget as well, think about, that's Kailer Yamamoto and what he did for Kailer Yamamoto. But don't forget that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were playing with Zach Kassian when they were together. That was the line. That was who they played with the entire time, or majority of the time. So all this all in all is, you can talk about splitting Draisaitl however you want. I think it's 34 starts at left wing and 37 at center this year. And you can talk about looking at the stats however you want. Leon Draisaitl is a guy separate from Connor McDavid. And that's why Leon Draisaitl is the MVP this year, is the fact that you have a guy that is on the same team as Connor McDavid, who put up incredible amounts of points from and with Connor McDavid, but is a separate player, separate entity from Connor McDavid. It is not all funneled through Connor McDavid that Leon Draisaitl is so great. And that's where we get to it. Connor McDavid may be the best player on the Oilers, and that is no argument. Connor McDavid is the best player in the NHL, hands down. But Leon Draisaitl is the most valuable, right? Is you can be the best player, you can have all the skill, all that, and I'm not saying Connor McDavid doesn't do things in the room or this or that, but end of the day, you look at it, right? Early on in the season, I said Leon Draisaitl was going to become a big, valuable leader on this Edmonton Oilers team. And what else did he do other than just put up an amount of points and center his own line and make this Oilers attack very dynamic? He became a huge driver on this team multiple times, saying, you guys are talking about, oh, can you make the playoffs? It's not can we make the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs, right? Leon Draisaitl was the biggest cheerleader on this team. Playoffs, playoffs, playoffs. And 110 points willed this team in. And obviously, guys, you think about it. 110 points, what? Connor McDavid's 97? That's a whole 13 points away from Connor McDavid, above what Connor McDavid scored, on top that Leon Draisaitl scored without any Connor McDavid help at bare minimum, right? If every single point of Leon Draisaitl's season came when Connor McDavid got a point, that's still 13 more points. So, end of the day, right? But Leon Draisaitl, guys, the thing is, right, is it's just a mental block. It's an absolute mental block within the Oilers' own fan base and within the NHL fan base. And the Oilers, we know what we got in Draisaitl and we're not as blocked. But it's still, right, that NHL fan base block that, no, if anyone on the Oilers is going to win the MVP, it has to be Connor McDavid because he's the best player. End of the day, no, because Leon Draisaitl is the most valuable. And that's what this award comes down to. And that's the hard part about this whole award is, right, everybody's always so caught up in the best player discussion, but it comes down to the most valuable. It's written in the words, the Hart Trophy to the most valuable player in the NHL. And to his team, I guess, is part of it as well. Leon Draisaitl, 100%, right? Is he separated from McDavid and helped lead the Oilers to where they were. You take, right, you separate Connor McDavid and he does what he does. Leon Draisaitl doesn't do what he does. Guys, this Oilers team, same exact boat as 17-18 all over again. 100%. And you know what? How you'd have proof of that is the fact that Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid wouldn't have been separated, right? If the success wasn't there, if Leon Draisaitl wasn't valuable doing Leon Draisaitl things, he would have played the full season with Connor McDavid. But the fact that you were able to split up Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and have an effective attack that worked and succeeded shows that you have the best player in the NHL and you have the most valuable player in the NHL, and they're two different players, and that is A-OK. K at the end of the day. I know, it's a mental block for a lot of NHL fans, but I hope I've helped explain it to you today. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was serious. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I didn't just leave that there for you. I am up on out of here.